Hey, so my name is Micah. I'm like a newer content creator here on whichever platform I post this on, because it's probably gonna go on Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, everywhere. I'm gonna post this everywhere. But it's Sunday, and I just wanted to share a little bit about myself personally. I'm 26 years old, and the past year I've had a lot of weird and unnecessary things happen to me. But like everyone has weird and unnecessary things happen to them. But the circumstances that I was put in let me understand more about myself. So before, 2023, I had identified myself. 2024, I identified myself as a non-binary, bisexual human being. That's what I thought. Actually pansexual. That's what I thought my identity was, and my gender identity, my sexual identity. I also suffered a lot of religious trauma because there were people that identified themselves as Christians that didn't behave like Christians. They were spiteful, they gossiped nonstop, they picked fights, they openly diminished other people and judged people's past. And it was very much like whether they liked you or not. It was very much a what's it called? It was not a popularity contest. It's like a likability contest. Like whoever kissed up to them the most, that's who they protected. And if they stayed to themselves and had a backbone, had morals, which is what God calls us to have. But if they felt insecure or felt like they were comparing themselves and losing, then they didn't like that person. And I just did not like that at all. So it pushed me further from God. And since I grew up in the church, I looked for another spiritual outlet because I didn't really fit in with other Christians, but I still wanted to believe in something. I just didn't believe in God, because if your followers are acting this way, then what are you doing? Why are you allowing people that are supposed to be glorifying your name to behave this way? I don't understand how you're allowing this kind of thing, amongst other stuff that was going on in the church at the time, at least the church I was in at the time, and a couple of other churches, because we would go to multiple churches. Again, I grew up in the church, so if you go in with a religious, a Christian background, you have a home church, you have a family church, you have another church that you go to for events. All of the churches intermingle, especially if you're from an immigrant background. There's more than one church. You have one main church you go to, but there's others that you go to for events, birthday parties, for family things, celebrations. All the churches get together from your community. I'm Kenyan. That's my background as well. So that's what I grew up doing. We would go to church sometimes Saturday and Sunday, sometimes Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday, Sunday. Sometimes we would go from 9 a.m. We go to the American church, and then we go to our Kenyan church after around 1, and then we go to another Kenyan church after that. It was a very, very big Christian influence in my life. When I started questioning my sexual identity, it was because people saw that I was equally masculine and feminine. I was very much a tomboy growing up. I got girlier as I got older, but it was still, even now to this day, it's still very prominent that I have more masculine traits about me. Even the way I present to dress, I wear a lot of pants and dress. That doesn't really make you masculine for me, but it just fits in with that more that category. But just outside of my clothing choice, how I conduct myself can seem that way as well. And because my people close to me were oh yeah, you might be this X, Y, and Z, I thought, okay, cool, because I was never against LGBTQ people. I never thought that there was anything wrong with them. I was they're just who they love. They don't hurt me. I don't see them committing acts of violence. I don't see them doing anything wrong. They just love who they love. Everyone that was around me that was in that category, they were good examples of human beings, and also they acted better and presented themselves better than the Christians, people that claim to be Christian in my life. So I was okay, cool. I had more favorable looks about them because they did not preach kindness and acceptance, and then do something else. So I was okay, I never hated them, because everyone that was a representation of that community around me was a good person. So in my head I was I wasn't going off media, I was going off real life in person representation of what this community is like. I feel that's always a more genuine look at somebody's character, because that's why most people have these biases, is because somebody of this characteristic acted this way in my life, and now I have this bias either for them or against them. Media also plays a part, obviously, it always will, but in-person interactions is what is the most powerful way to sway someone for or against something or somebody, usually. So when I was in my spiritual journey, I just like opened myself up to everything, because I was like, you know what, I've always been attracted to men. I still am. Even during this journey I was, but I was, maybe I have a different attraction towards women. I thought like, if you know what demisexuality is, it's more so like you're not attracted to, you don't develop like certain feelings for another human being without first getting to know them. It's very similar to, I would say, like forms of asexuality, which has like their own variations within that aspect, but it's more so like they have very little to no sexual attraction towards anybody. It's very much just like what's it called, intimacy without like sexual feelings. They don't have the feeling of like wanting to be intimate in that way with their partner. They want like quality time, like reading a book with each other, like watching a movie, holding hands, hugging, but they don't have it in them to have sexual desires. And if they do, it's like very, very, very rarely kind of thing. This is similar to that, as in when you don't have any feelings like that until you've developed a stronger emotional, intellectual bond with this person. So I felt like that was my attraction towards women. So I was like, okay, maybe I just like everybody. And like this turned into like a whole bunch of like weird encounters with people that thought that if they made themselves available to me, that I would automatically be attracted to them and reciprocate their feelings towards me. And it was just a stark contrast from the people that I grew up being around, that were mature and like caring, to people that were not like that. They were more selfish in their pursuit of attention and gratification and validation than those that I grew up being around. So at the same time I'm going through the spiritual journey, I'm going through this like understanding of my sexual identity and my gender identity, like a whole bunch of stuff was happening, and then lo and behold, I come out the other side, literally where I started. I started off being a straight ally that was Christian, and I come out being a straight ally that's Christian. Like, I've never had a girlfriend. I've like tried to experiment with that, and like the person that I had strong feelings for, it was okay, but it was also like I just didn't like her that way. I felt, looking back on it, I felt like it was more so like just like a symbiotic weird relationship with a friend. Like, it wasn't even like a romantic thing. I think I just more worried about her and for her safety, and I felt more like a caretaker than a partner, and we weren't even officially together. It was like a whole thing. That was the only person that I ever felt like that way. And every other woman or person that represented themselves like more feminine that approached me was like either aggressive or entitled, and it rubbed me the wrong way, and I was just like, no. So at first I thought I was just like maybe it's just the women that were around me that are making me re-question myself. But I was like, no, I feel like God allowed those people in my life on purpose to show me that, are you sure? Like, to reinforce, like, are you sure? Because these are also in that pool that you say that you're attracted to. And I was like, no. So I ended up like going through this whole gambit of being like, no, I'm not like a non-binary pansexual spiritual person. I'm literally just a Christian who has spiritual knowledge and spiritual practices that they've picked up that amplify their Christianity, that is straight and still is an ally for the LGBTQ plus community. And it's just like interesting to me that now it's like I went through that just to know who I am, because now nobody can tell me who I am, because I have discovered that stuff for myself. I've discovered that aspect of myself for myself. So I'm grateful for the experience, honestly, even like the worst parts of it, because now I know how I can represent myself, because I know who I am. I know what my values are. I know what I like and what I don't like. And when it comes down to it, I feel like my story is going to help someone else come to terms with the things that they were questioning about themselves. And I feel like I can openly like hold conversations that people aren't equipped to hold, and still lead people to Christ. Because I'm still struggling even now, not with my sexuality, but girl, I'd be cursing. I'd be cursing like real bad. People irritate me, and then it's just like I was wearing a rosary, and like symbolic piece, like for people that have spiritual knowledge, like spiritual tools, they are like very powerful. So a rosary is supposed to like present yourself, not say evil things towards people, and not curse. It was fraying. I've had it for less than a month, and it was fraying on me, girl. That's how bad it was. So I just felt like me being who I am on my journey for like better health, more financial blessings and stability, reuniting with Christ, and like finding a good like faith-based community and things like that. I feel like I should open up myself to like be a spokesperson for a walk with Christ, even if you still identify as who you are, because God made everybody and I do not believe God hates gay people. I really don't. So and I just feels like that puts me at a very unique position to welcome more people to Christ, and that's what I feel like I'm called to do. So I'm just gonna use my platform to do that and like showcase myself, because you know there's always gonna be negative people that will try to impart whatever they experience onto you. But I'm here to say that, like, you know, it's not just black and it's not just black and white. There's a lot of other colors in between. And there's not one way to worship God and be a Christian person. There is one way, girl, the Bible. But like, you don't have to be like what you expect, because Christians that are Christian and say that they're Christian are also going through and also have parts where they may fall short. So you should not expect yourself to be perfect, because I was another thing that I was like, oh, I'm not like this, I want to be perfect, because I did not like, part of the trauma with me was I did not like that they made everyone else seem like they had to be perfect, but they themselves weren't perfect, and I just made me, I left a bad taste in my mouth. But I realized that that's just human beings. We will always fall short, and we have to give each other grace as we expect grace, but also build those communities and build like places for people to explore the things that they need to explore and ask the questions they need to ask questions about, and have open discussions so that they can also gain clarity without having to go through the fire like I did. So that's what I feel like I'm called to do. This is Sunday. I feel like this is like, I felt like making this message today. Like, I'm a fashion content creator. I do health. I do fitness. I will be speaking more about God and having open discussions and speaking more about like my journey, because I'm very much like a developing person. I don't feel like I'm completely who I am supposed to be, but I am enough of myself that I can give my opinion and lead people the way I feel like God wants them to go, as I'm also being led by God. So yeah, that's just like, that's the thing, because I don't know, because we're going into Pride. It's spring, and I feel like, since it's March, hi March, we have a couple months before that happens, and I was just like, you know, I feel like now would be a good time to open up the discussion. Like, if you have any religious trauma, if you have questioned your sexuality, if you struggle with your walk with Christ, hey, hi, welcome. If you're into fashion content and you're not that religious, cool. I will tend to do this on Saturdays and Sundays, like these kinds of religious conversations. So if you're not into that content, I guess just don't tune in on Saturdays, Sundays. But every other time, like, you know, like whatever, like hit me up. I'm a cool person. And that's just gonna be making. I'm just gonna be fashion, food, God, faith-based stuff, spirituality. If I'm not super specifically into Christianity, there will be other things I'll be talking about. And fitness, I have another page for that, specifically health and fitness, and that's gonna be, I'll put that here. And I have my website, it's in the works. Don't buy anything from the website I have in my bio. I'm making a new one. That one's like dead. And it will not be resurrected. It's just done. We're making a new one. And then yeah, anyway, so happy Sunday. That's me. I felt like I should talk about that, because I felt compelled to be like, yo, don't let other Christians separate you from Christ. That was like the main thing I was talking about. And your journey is your journey. It might seem like you're going the wrong way, but it could just be something to clear you up, so you know exactly who and what you are and what you like by the time it is time for you to have a platform and speak up and be the warrior you need to be the person you need to be. It's all a process. So don't beat yourself up about, like, even if it's like addiction, whatever it was in the past, man, it's for your good at the end. So yeah, I just wanted to take a softer approach, because I was being super serious, and I'm still going to be serious, but I was being very harsh with myself, and I was also being harsh with others. And I feel like there's a difference between being harsh because you want better for somebody else and yourself, and being harsh because you're scared to fall back into old patterns. And I feel like I was reacting in fear, which God tells us not to do. So yeah, just confidence, understanding, strong boundaries always, and high standards. But yeah, just hit me up. I have to like arrange this in a way, because I'm like going all over the place in my conversation, but I'm gonna edit better. Yeah, anyway, thank you. I hope you guys tune in next Saturday, Sunday for another faith-based video. Yeah, okay, bye-bye.